Welcome to the Book of Balance podcast, where real stories meet real numbers. I'm your host, Patricia Oholeguy, your bookkeeper and believer that business should serve your life, not consume it. Each week, we sit down with entrepreneurs who've built their dreams from scratch and learned to balance their books, their boundaries, and their energy along the way. Ready to turn the page on financial stress and write your own story of clarity? Let's dive in. You can build a beautiful business and still lose the moments that matter. I know because I did it. I closed a thriving childcare business, one I ran for nearly 2 decades, to be present for my son when he needed me most. It wasn't dramatic. There was no catastrophic failure, just a quiet realization that the business I'd built was consuming the life I was trying to protect. Today, I'm unpacking the trade-offs, the numbers, and the boundaries that let you choose your life first without burning your business to the ground. Because here's what I've learned. You don't have to choose between success and sanity. You just need better systems. So let's dive in. Welcome back to the Book of Balance podcast. I'm Patricia Oholeguy, and if you listened to my conversation with Blessing Santoro last week, you've heard her talk about the ripple effect and how your message creates your marketing system, which creates your content. It was brilliant, and it got me thinking, what if we applied the same ripple framework to work-life balance? Because that's what we're really talking about here, right? Not just making more money or building a bigger brand, but creating a business that actually serves the life you want to live. So today we're going to cover 4 critical things. First, a simple decision grid for those hard seasons when life demands more than your business can give. Second, 3 money levers to protect your cash flow without working yourself into the ground. Third, a weekly 15-minute clarity check that keeps you aligned. You'll leave this episode with a plan you can implement this week, not someday, but this week. Ready? Let's go. Let me start by telling you about the hardest business decision I've made. I ran an in-home daycare for nearly 2 decades. I was profitable. It was meaningful. Parents trusted me with their children during the most precious years of their lives. And it was relentless. See, when your home is your workplace, there are no boundaries. You're always on, always available, always responsible. For years, I made it work. I had systems, routines, a stellar reputation. But then my son needed me. Not in the casual way old children need their parents, but in a deeper, more urgent way. He was struggling, and I could see it. The problem was I was physically present, but emotionally stretched so thin that I couldn't give him what he actually needed. I was caring for everyone else's children while my own child was slipping through the cracks. That's a realization. It hit me like a freight train. So I made a choice. I chose presence. I chose my son, and I closed my daycare. Now, let me be honest with you. That decision wasn't glamorous. It was spreadsheets and sacrifices and late night calculations. It was conversations with families who depended on me. It was grieving an identity I had carried for over 20 years. But underneath all of that was a quiet promise I made to myself. My business must serve my life and not consume it. Here's the lesson I want you to take from this. Seasons change. The business model that worked when your kids were babies might not work when they're teenagers. The schedule that energized you at 30 might exhaust you at 45. And the bravest business strategy isn't muscling through, it's redesigning the model so it actually fits the season you're in. And that's exactly what I did. I didn't quit entrepreneurship. I pivoted. I moved into bookkeeping, a career with boundaries, predictability, and where I could work under my own terms. And you know what? My business thrives now because I'm not fighting against my life anymore. I'm building with it. Okay, so let's talk about Blessing's Ripple framework because I think it's the perfect lens for work-life balance. She describes it like this. Your inner message creates your marketing system. which creates the content people actually see. 3 rings. Everything flows outwards from the center. Let's apply that to balance. The inner ring is your message. This is about clarity, who you are, and what do you value now. Not 5 years from now, not when you start your business, but now. This is about clarity, my friends. Who are you and what do you value now? Not 5 years ago and not when you started your business, but now. For me, that inner message is peace over profit, family first, financial clarity. That's my non-negotiable. And when I'm clear about that, every other decision gets easier. So I want you to pause for a second and ask yourself, what's your inner ring? What are the 3 values that define this season of your life? Write them down. We'll come back to them. The middle ring is your marketing system. This is where most of us get it wrong. We think of balance means doing less, but really it means showing up strategically. For me, that meant answering, how do I show up without selling my soul? The answer, low lift, high signal channels, repurpose assets, fewer platforms, and doing it well. I stopped trying to be everywhere. I stopped creating content just to create content. Instead, I focused on systems that worked while I wasn't working. Automated email sequences, evergreen offers, a monthly subscription model that brings in predictable revenue without constant hustling. Your marketing systems should support your life, not compete with it. And the outer ring is your content. This is what people actually see, your offers, your boundaries, your availability. For me, that looks like clear office hours, published response times, and boundaries that I state publicly so no one, including me, can pretend they don't exist. And here's the truth. When your inner message is clear, your marketing systems aligns, and your content naturally reflects both, that's the ripple. And it works for balance just as much as it works for branding. So now let's get tactical, because balance isn't just about boundaries, it's about money. If your business doesn't generate enough cash flow, you can't afford to set boundaries. You'll say yes to everything because you need every dollar. So we need to protect your cash flow with what I call the cash flow triangle. 3 levers you can pull to make more money without working more hours. The first lever is scope. This is about tightening your deliverables. Too many of us let scope creep destroy our margins. A client asks for just one thing, and we say yes because we want to be helpful. But those little additions add up fast. And here's the fix. Sell outcome-based packages with clear guardrails. For example, instead of bookkeeping services, I offer monthly financial clarity package, reconciliation, profit and loss, cash flow reports, additional services quoted separately. So I have a very clear description of what services I provide and what I don't. Anything beyond that, there's an additional fee. See the difference? The client knows exactly what they're getting. I'm not giving away free labor. Lever 2, cadence. It's about how you structure your time. Instead of letting clients' requests dictate your schedule, you batch your work. You create money dates. Block where you can focus on revenue-generating activities. You move meetings to set windows so your day isn't constantly interrupted. For me, I block Mondays for my own financial reviews. Tuesdays is for client work. Fridays, I do admin work. For me, I block different chunks of hours during the day to be able to do financial reviews, work on my clients' spreadsheets, but I also allocate specific chunks of times during each day to be able to meet with clients. But everything's blocked and organized, therefore I am able to stay organized. That cadence protects my energy and my sanity. And lever 3, price. This is the one that everyone resists, but it's the most powerful. You have to change for access and speed. If someone wants immediate turnaround, then pay a premium. If they want unlimited access to you, then pay for that access. But here's the key. You also need an entry-level offer for people who aren't ready for white glove services. For me, that's the Clarity Compass method, a monthly subscription for DIY entrepreneurs get guidance and accountability without needing full service bookkeeping. That way, I am not underpricing my premium work just to accommodate people who can't afford me yet. And here's the mini exercise I want you to do for the next 2 minutes. Pause this episode if you need to. I want you to list your current offers. For each one, I want you to mark one of these 3 letters. If there is a scope creep and you're doing more than you should be doing, then write the letter S. If you have a cadence that is off and is chaotic and your clients are controlling your schedule, write the letter C. And if the price is mismatched and you are undercharging for the value you're delivering, write a letter P next to that one. Now, pick one offer and fix one lever this week. Just one lever. That small shift will give you more margin, more control, and more peace. Now, let's talk about what happens when life hits hard. A family emergency, a health crisis, a child who needs you more than usual. When those moments come, and they will, you need a decision-making framework so you're not just reacting emotionally. That's where the work-life decision grid comes in. And here's how it works. For any commitment or project, you ask 2 questions. 1, what's the impact on you, low or high? 2nd, what's the impact on the client or revenue, low or high? That gives you 4 scenarios, and each one has a different action. Scenario 1, low impact on you, low impact on clients. Easy, defer it or delete it. This is the stuff that doesn't matter, let it go, okay? Scenario number 2 is high impact on you, low impact on clients. Keep it, but add support. Use templates, automations, or delegate it to take the pressure off. Scenario 3, low impact on you, high impact on clients. This is where communication saves you. Reach out early, renegotiate scope and details, give client options. You're managing expectations like the professional you are. And scenario 4, high impact on you, high impact on your clients. This is the nuclear option. Pause the project, offer a refund, or refer them to someone else. Protecting your health and your family isn't negotiable. And any client who doesn't understand that isn't a client worth keeping. Use this grid when life gets hard, and it'll help you make clear decisions fast. And if you're curious, and if you're looking for a cheat sheet with all these notes, on the episode notes, you'll find a link where you can download our PDF with all of this information. Now, let's talk about the boundaries, because I know what you're thinking. Patricia, if I set all of these boundaries, won't I lose clients? And here's the truth. Boundaries are marketing. When you're clear about your availability, your response times, and your limits, you attract clients who respect those boundaries. And you repel clients who would make your life miserable anyway. Okay, now I'm going to borrow something brilliant from Blessings here. Track tiny numbers, because when you're in the thick of it, when you're stressed, overwhelmed, questioning everything, you need data, not drama. And here's what I track every day. Numbers of qualified calls booked, closed rate, hours worked, stress level on a scale 1 to 5. That is it for numbers. Takes me 5 minutes. Then once a month, I look at the bigger picture. Monthly recurring revenue, average project margin, top referral resources. And here's the rule. If my stress is above a 4 for 4 consecutive weeks and my margin is below 40%, I change one lever. Scope, cadence, or price before I change my whole business. Because here's what happens when you don't track this stuff. You make emotional decisions. You think, I am so overwhelmed, I need to fire all my clients and start over. Or, I'm not making enough money, I need to take on at least 10 more projects. But when you have data, you can see patterns. You can see which offers are draining you and which ones are profitable. You can see which clients are high maintenance and which ones are the dream ones. And then you can make strategic adjustments instead of blowing everything up. Data over drama every single time. All right, so we're almost done, but I want to leave you with one more final tool, the clarity routine. This is the 15-minute weekly ritual that has rescued my calendar and my peace of mind. And here's how it works. 5 minutes. You're going to review for 5 minutes. What created results this week? What drained you? I'm not talking about vague feelings. I'm talking about specific clients, specific tasks, specific decisions. Write them down. Now, for 5 minutes, redecide what you're going to do. Based on what you just reviewed above, what one boundary you need to tighten? What's one task you need to delete or delegate? Pick one thing, just one. For example, maybe you realize the last-minute calls are wrecking your schedule, so you decide from now on all calls must be booked at least 48 hours in advance. Done. Boundary set. My boundary is I don't accept same-day appointments. Why? Because I plan my day the night before. That way, I protect my space, I protect my peace by only allowing clients to book appointments for the following day. Now for 5 minutes, I want you to recommunicate. Now tell people about it. Send an email to your list. Post an Instagram story. Update your booking calendar. Whatever boundary you just set, communicate it publicly so everyone, including you, knows it's real. This tiny ritual has changed my business because it forced me to be intentional instead of reactive. Every week, I'm reviewing what's working, adjusting what's not, and communicating clearly. That's how you maintain balance, not by setting it once and hoping it sticks, but by checking it every single week and making micro adjustments. 15 minutes is all it takes. All right, let's bring this home. Balance isn't luck. It's not something that happens to you when the stars align. Balance is a system. You start with your message, your inner ring that values that defines the seasons of your life. And then you protect your cash flow with the triangle, scope, cadence, and pricing. And lastly, you make decisions with the grid, impact on you, impact on clients. And you let tiny data steer the ship so you're not making emotional decisions in the middle of a crisis. If you DIY your books and you need accountability, join the Clarity Compass method. It's a monthly subscription when you get guidance, community, and support without needing full service bookkeeping. And if you want white glove bookkeeping services or financial reviews to see where your levers are, book a short consult at Oholeguy.com. Until next time, keep your compass set on clarity and remember your business should serve your life, not consume it. This is Patricia Oholeguy, and this is the Book of Balance podcast. See you on the next episode. Thank you for joining me for today's episode of the Book of Balance podcast. I hope you enjoyed our conversation and found value in the insights we shared. Make sure you subscribe so you never miss a future episode. And as promised during the show, you'll also find a link in the description with today's guest information, website links, and all the mentions we talked about during the episode. And if you're a do-it-yourself entrepreneur, you can join the Clarity Compass method at claritycompassllc.com. It's a monthly subscription where business owners like you dedicate just 1 hour each week to work in their books, get their questions answered, and stay consistent with their support of a community committed to financial clarity. Now, if you'd like to connect with me personally, head on to my website, Oholeguy.com, to schedule your complimentary 15-minute consultation. It's the perfect way to get your personalized bookkeeping questions answered and explore how the white glove services can support your business. And on the last note, remember, we are not lawyers or financial advisors. Everything shared here reflects our professional opinions and is provided solely for educational purposes and entertainment purposes only. So thanks again for listening, and until next time, keep your compass set on clarity.